Skibbity Toilet has arrived. New Skibbity Toilet object. Powerful enemies. Thrilling battles. Protect the base. Use WoW's powerful creation tools and build defense towers to your heart's content. Engage in intense battles. Various defense towers. Earn points in battle. Unlock more defense towers. Tons of strategies. Epic battles. Play now.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty amazing journey here. I think that overall the group stages were pretty fun. Watching Rondo was a bit weird for me. It seemed ultra chaotic. Ultra chaotic is the way I put it. I think that honestly, when I look at the way that Rondo played, it was a bit of a nightmare during those early stages of the map where people were just rezzing each other over and over. I wasn't not sure how big it was, but again, it's always a fun one to watch. Right. Well, I think right now you won't be able to hear the root, but We'll get him back as soon as possible. In the meantime, let's go over the big winners and the big losers from the group stages overall. And I think that Papara Supermassive was was a supermassive surprise for a lot of people. Top there, 120 points. I think Kamikaze was getting a lot of praise, and rightly so. I think that he was genuinely an incredible player for the team. But again, it was weird to me. We've got really big names. You've got Regnum Kaya, you've got S2G. So surprising that a lot of these teams weren't able to rack up towards the top. I think if I remember correctly, I think Regnum Kaya had a little bit of a weak day one. We're going into day 2 points, which was.
Yeah, they were on the struggle bus on that first day, but they did come back swinging day 2. 63 or 64 points. 64 was what they got on the second day. So they were back with a vengeance. Let's see how they're going to do here. But ladies and gentlemen, let's remind you, league stage, we had the 24 teams, 6 matches a day, but now we are in the knockout stage. 20 teams, 4 teams in 5 groups. And then the top 16 teams at the end of the 3 days will make it to the offline finals in Istanbul, in Turkey, to fight for the top 3 spots. And of course, the incredible prize pool that we have as well. It was 4,000, I believe, for the league stage first place only. And I'm curious to see what the price is going to be for the knockout stage as well. And if it's going to be dominated by the same teams. That's not going to be an easy task, but we're going to be on the lookout for exactly that.
Yeah, again, it's weird with the prize pool because, I mean, for 4,000 the league stage, it is sort of surprising that money goes over towards Papara Supermassive, but I do think the way they played, they sort of deserved it. But again, you do have a situation where I think some of these other teams, depending on groups, depending on teams you played with, it was slightly strange. Obviously, one team, a team would just skip a day, so you do get less time to play anyway. So it could be the case those players and teams that went into day 3 got a little bit of a better read on the lobby going into that. So they had a bit of a better time there, especially Rondo. I mean, for PMSL EU, this is the first time they're seeing it. It's a little bit of a different tactic, at least in an esports setting. And some teams just adapted to it much better than others. We do have a smash rule in effect, but that will be for grand finals only, not during this knockout stage. It will be the leader's score at the end of day 2 plus 10. So if you ended day 2 on 100, it will be 110 to surpass and then get a chicken dinner after that. And what would you do? You've won the whole tournament.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen last time in the previous season for PMSL EU. It was done in game number 17. So very close, but wrapped it up with 1 game in hand. I'm curious to see how it's going to wrap up when it comes to this split and this season. And I was watching a couple of the other regions as well. The Smash rule, it was in play, of course, when it came to CSA as well, but it did not happen. It was another max total points as every single one of the games was played out in the finals. And we also have PMSL MENA that's currently running as well. So all kinds of PUBG mobile action is happening all over the world as teams are fighting to qualify for the PMGC. Now, this is something that me and John were talking about last week. We were curious as to how the map rotation was going to look like and what the calendar was going to look like for the knockout stage, because it was 5 matches, and we were wondering if Rondo was going to be there. And you know what? I love it. Today, we only have 1 Rondo, but tomorrow and the day after, we get 2. So I'm very excited for all the early game action, all the early game eliminations, and to see if teams have better prepared themselves in this stage of the competition. Because like you mentioned, some teams did well, some teams did not. And one of the teams that didn't in Rondo was S2G. And they barely qualified from the group stages. So I don't want to see them have that same run that they did previously. Happen one more time here at this stage in the competition.
Yeah, so we got 5 rondos as well, 5 groups, which means every single group gets to play rondo at least once. I think that the scary thing is definitely the final game there on day 3, which is played on rondo. I would say I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm okay to say that as well, just because it's such a volatile map. It's even more volatile than Sandhawk in terms of the elims you can put up. And with multiple years where we have moved the amount of placement points that you'd be getting, having a bigger focus on elimination points, makes Rondo this weird map to close out on, where one team could potentially get a huge amount of points and overleap a lot of these other teams. And I think that the scary thing about that for me is that you sort of want to clean out the day early with Smash ruling.
I mean, I kind of like the chaos and the carnage that it brings for those first couple of stages. You know, it gives us something to talk about. It gives us another insight into how the teams are capable of adapting to these new changes and those new things. I feel like you're a man that doesn't like change, Blank.
No, it's not. It's not that. I think that I don't mind change. In fact, I really like Sandhawk as a map, but I think that it was the right decision to take it out. I think Rondo's a very, very cool map. Not sure how I feel about the res beacons. I really love Rondo as a map. I think it's a very fun map. I love the amount of fighting that you get towards the center of the circle a lot of times around Neox Factory and Racetrack. That's very, very cool. The thing I'm not sure about is the res beacons, especially with it being the final game here in knockout stages, where you could have a team put up so many elims early and potentially get a podium finish off the back of the map as opposed to off the back of consistency. That's my reasoning.
Yeah, the worry that me and John had in the previous week was, is it going to be balanced in a way where every team gets to play it? And the way that it's set up right now, yeah, every team's going to have an opportunity to showcase it one time, but it being on the last day is going to change things up a little bit. And I'm curious to see how that's going to break out. But ladies and gentlemen, knockout stage, these are the teams that have qualified, and these are the teams that we have over the next 3 days. It is going to be 5 matches per day. But every single team is going to be playing every single day. They will be missing out on the one match only. But of course, the map rotation is set up in a way where it's going to be equal for every single team and for every single player. So it's not going to be advantageous in one way, shape, or form for another.
Yeah, so we lost out on Galatasaray, Chaos Black Esports, Far Voice Gaming, and Ozorox. I don't think there were. I think that was kind of those were for me expected teams that we were going to lose. It felt a bit sad to see Ozorox go down in 24th though, with only 33 points. I don't think there's terrible players on that team, to be honest with you. They're a bit more up and comers, but again, it was definitely a rough go of it. I mean, Team Falcons down towards 65, our previous spring winners. That to me makes sense, right? 14th place sort of makes sense. 65 points. I think Team Falcons bore the responsibility and the weight of spring really well, despite having some tough games. Do I think that they're the best team inside this lobby? Probably not. But do I think they still deserve to win spring? Yeah. Do I think they're going to win fall? I don't know. I'm going to say no.
Well, I mean, from what we've seen in this current split so far in the first stage, it doesn't look like it, and I agree. There have been a lot of surprising teams. Looking at the leaderboard from last week, Papara Supermassive was insane. Boars Gaming as well, coming out from PMCO EU. They came all the way to second place in the first stage of the competition, 3 points in day 1, 58 in day 3. So the consistency for that squad is there. And I'm curious to see if it's going to continue in this one as well, or if it was just a one-off thing in the previous stage. But teams like Regnum Karya, Fenerbahce, Ulf, like a lot of these teams have been performing sensationally over the first stage of the competition. Falcons, not so much. 36th and 29. Definitely not even close to the level that we've been used to from the previous split champion.
Yeah, I think some of those players are struggling to adapt to the new era of esports. That's a very tactical squad, I would say, a very, very tactical squad. But I think more than ever now, you need heavy fraggers on the team to make it work. But yeah, you talk about Boars. I think they're a great team to actually dive into a little bit more right now. Looking at the team, it is all players that you should know and recognize if you've caught up with PMSL EU for a long time. It's Exo, Havlik, Kivik, and Snowix, and we do have in League Stage 1, League 19 for S2G. That is rough. That is very, very rough for them.
Yeah, it is just a little bit. But I mean, what a rise though from one. Well, actually, no. Well, I mean, hold on. For S2G, yeah. Sorry, the other one. I mixed up the splits. Yeah. Yeah, what a fall from grace for S2G. And this is the roster that we were talking about, and the lack of performance from this team when it came to Rondo specifically. And when you look at their positioning, 19th, they qualified with a total of 52 points. That's it. 52 points in total, just barely qualifying by a total of 4 over the likes of Galatasaray in the overall leaderboard from the last split. massive changes have to be seen coming into this one if they want to make it into the top 16 and play in the finals. But not seeing them in the finals would be a massive, massive surprise and a huge upset, I would say, for an organization of this caliber.
Yeah, I think that S2G's always had this issue where Kelsey and HamZG sort of operate on a different level to the rest of the team, no matter who you put in there. And they have an even bigger issue right now is that the new player they're bringing in is Solke, who is primarily a IGL, right? So now you're asking two players who, and a lot of times they do make the right plays. This is why it's tough for me to argue against them. But I think now you're asking them to listen to someone completely new and play with them alongside Icy, who is still fitting into the team, doesn't necessarily speak Turkish either. So it's even more tough for him. You've got three guys all speaking Turkish and then Solke probably giving a lot of comms in Turkish. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's a really, really difficult team to make work. And Solke coming in is probably shaking things up a lot. But like you say, being two ranks away from just leaving a group stage, that's unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I want to see a massive shift in performance for S2G from game one. Please let them be playing game one at least. But yes, I want to see a massive change from them coming into this next stage of the competition. Of course, ahead of you was the lovely little prize pool that we have, which is very similar, if not identical, to the prize pool from the previous stage, without obviously just 21st to 24th. And here, it's a reminder of Rondo, baby. 2 flight routes. Very happy with that personally. The recall system, which is still up for debate. We're still trying to figure out if that's a good thing or it's very, very controversial addition, according to Blank. And we'll discuss it. I want to discuss it in depth later on in the game. Terrain destruction. We've seen a lot of teams try to use the pickaxe using nades, C4s, and all kinds of utility to just give themselves a little bit more cover in the later stages. EMP zone. I haven't seen anything crazy in the first week of competition that's like, oh my god, the MP that was the reason that they didn't make it. No, we haven't seen anything like that so far. And we have seen a lot of bunker drop usage.
Yeah, I think bunker drops fun. I've seen some other regions before. I think even saw even Mina where team dropped, I think at least 3 bunker drops around Wizard Tower and they just couldn't see anything. So they actually lost because of that, because they physically could not look out of the compound. So that was pretty amusing for me. The pickaxe, a little bit of a non-plus. I think it takes so long to create these little bits of terrain to actually sit in. But again, third person perspective does help you out a lot with that. EMP zone can be frustrating though. I definitely think it can be frustrating. It cuts out a lot of gear. It'll cut out your jammer backpack as well if you go through it. If you get caught on that side, so you're no longer getting the assistance from the jammer backpack, like actually giving you protection from the blue. But we're going to be playing it match 3, so we'll see it then. But we're starting things off pretty steady with Erangel into Miramar, into Rondo, and then closing things out with Erangel and Miramar once again. But yeah, only 5 matches during the group stages, and we'll be playing 3 days of games.
Yeah, just the 3, and it is still going to be 12 games for every single player in every single group. And yeah, and I like that little shift that we have. We're not going to be starting off with a Rondo, Erangel, Miramar, and then the Rondo in the middle. And that's for day 1. And I like having a little bit of a different schedule in day 1, 2, and 3. But that's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, about the next 3 days of competition for PMSL EU. Make sure to let us know in the chat who are you supporting and who do you want to see live in Istanbul in the live finals. It's, I believe, going to be in the Complex Arena. I was looking at that earlier on. It seats about 3,500 people. So there's a lot of room for you to, come over and support your favorite players, support your favorite team, get a little merch if you want to, have your jersey signed by your favorite player. Get the opportunity to watch some of the best that Europe has, and of course Turkey, live in Turkey. I think it's going to be exciting.
Live in Turkey, that's correct. That's where it's going to be. I think if you go to these events, like PUBG Mobile players are, and teams in general are pretty accommodating to signatures, giving out merch, or just having merch on display there as well. So if you do have a particular team that you really like or you just want to chat to, I think that if you can catch them, like sometimes they'll be outside the venue, they're pretty happy to talk a lot of times, very, very friendly. So it's always a nice atmosphere. Yeah, we're getting into the first game pretty shortly. I think Rondo towards the middle of the day, getting sandwiched in there is probably the best place to put it because if things go awry for some teams or one team gets ahead by a high margin, at least he's got Arima to clean things out. So that's kind of what I want to see. I can link you it, dude, if you want.
Sure.
It was thrown slightly early. We're discussing the map feed right now, guys. The internal map feed.
Yeah, the one that you're not allowed access to.
Well, no one's allowed.
Yeah, it's just
not even I'm allowed it. Like most of it is censored. I can see like a small circle in the middle, and then I have to like kind of guess from there. So not even worth it if you wanted it.
Yeah. Plus, you know what? Don't do that. It's cheating, and we don't like cheaters.
No, we're very much against cheaters here at PMSL. Though some have slipped in from time to time.
I mean, look, somehow they managed to find their way, but it's fine because we got that pan hammer 3.0.
Hammer, yeah. It's a band pan. Just a band pan. Yeah.
And now I'm just imagining it be like level 3, like 3 levels.
So it's like it's got a really long haft on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just like a massive pan at the end. Just like that would be
pan hammer. Yeah. Okay.
Hammer, yeah.
So we can get them from distance as well. So we don't have to interact with the cheaters. We could do it from far away. I like it. Yeah. That's even better for me. Don't have to talk to them. We get to social distance from the cheaters at the same time as banning them. Perfect. That's what we need more of.
And that's what you get. But, I don't think anyone here is going to get it because everyone's very responsible. And you know what? It's almost time. We're getting our lovely players, our lovely competitors into the lobby. And one thing I'm looking forward to is getting used to the different colors of the teams because that will change every single day. And now every single map with every single game. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. I think that coming off the back of the internationals, it's always weird coming over towards group stages where the team's colors are changing a lot of times. It must be even more difficult for you viewers at home when you pretty much only seeing the team colors on the map occasionally as well as on the mini map. But we'll do our best to keep you updated in the meantime. But yeah, it is a slightly frustrating one, but we can work around it. We got big brains here. You guys have got big brains at home. I actually speak to a lot of people in Instagram DMs and I'm like, smarter than me when it comes to PUBG Mobile, but I'm not going to tell anyone because I'll lose my job.
But you just did.
No one heard that. That was confidential. That was a confidential moment between me and.
Okay, so we're just gonna cut that. We're just gonna cut that from the stream.
If we can cut that. That'd be perfect. Be brilliant.
I'm pretty sure production's going to be on that. They've been they've been through the ringer the past week, and they are more than ready to tackle any issues. But so far, no issues. It's just about making sure that the players are in their seats and ready to go. And hopefully we'll get the show on the road. And I'm very, very curious to see how the first game is going to go for a lot of different teams. So teams that haven't been able to perform last week. So, regardless if they're actually playing in the first game or not, I'm just talking about their first game today in general. I want to see what XLA is going to do. XLA had a very, very rough first day of the competition. I think they ended with 16 on day one. They didn't really have any kind of performance in the first day. But day two, they managed to secure 42 points and they were able to qualify. The thing is, you had a lot of pressure on your shoulders going into the final day. You don't want to be doing that to yourself in this stage of the competition as well. You kind of want to make it easier from the beginning. SCG for sure has to be talked about just because of the lack of consistent performance that we've seen from them in the past week, and they have to start off strong, I feel, this week. Otherwise, I'm not sure where the team's morale is going to be going into the finals if they make it there too.
Yeah, I think that there's also a slight issue for Regnum Kaya right now where Zedwolf has come on the team, and I think he's an awesome addition, by the way. Awesome addition.
Oh, 100%.
However, they managed to acquire that deal, did really well. Sadly, Zedwolf's still a bit of a loose cannon right now. And he absolutely does work on other teams. It's just in terms of where he came from. I think he was struggling because he had to do so much of the work on his own when he was playing with BW and RX. I think on Regnum Kaya, I think he can lean into his teammates a little bit more. These guys are good. They're good at the game. They've proved it multiple times at international tournaments that they can perform very, very well. So just lean to the team a little bit more. Be that for better or worse, I think that getting that synergy done now during PMSLU is very important. Before you go play off against some incredibly difficult teams, come PMGC, even if they make it.
Yeah, that's true. And I want to say one thing that I'm remembering now from last year's PMGC in Istanbul, in London rather, when we had Sara move in to play with RCB, and from Reject, it was like, how is that going to go? How is the communication going to look like between these teams? They ended up top 2, top 3 by a difference of maybe 1 or 2 points, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Imagine if they had a little bit more time to build more synergy rather than just start straight up in PMGC. That little bit of difference could have made it all.
It is crazy because I think that if you look at 2024 PMGC, Regnum Kaya technically should have won. I think if it wasn't for the fact that we had the East Island finish, Game 6 in Miramar, I think Regnum Kaya would have absolutely taken the title. I think D plus Kia came out on top and they deserved that win. It was just a pretty grueling end for Regnum Kaya getting across there. D plus just takes the risk, takes the gamble, and it pays off. But for Regnum Kaya, the difference is I think that Sara was a very selfless player. Disregarding all the comments, all the rumors around when he's playing on the team, guys, obviously. But I would say he's a very selfless player in game, where he would play the off angles. A lot of times he would be the first to go down, but the first to scout. And I think they really needed that. Now they're working with a completely different beast altogether. In this case, a wolf, who he's a bit. Yeah, they're going to need. I think Loxy has clutch potential, and I think that. Even so, Loxy still might have to relinquish that role over towards Zedwolf and play more of the off-angle position. No hate towards Loxy. I think he's an incredible player. I think the potential ceiling is higher for Zedwolf, though.
All right, well,
we could theorize all day. We could theorize all day.
He has shown his capabilities time and time again in the previous stage, and I'm sure he's going to show us something special when it comes to the remaining stages. And definitely one of the teams that should be making it to PMGC, whether it's points from Turkey or like Turkey points, or whether it's from PMSL. I have high hopes for the roster. And of course, you want to qualify from PMSL. You want to qualify straight to the gauntlet. So it's just top 7 out of 16, straight to the PMGC Grand Finals. That's what you're looking at. If you qualify by points, you will have to go through the group stage, then onto the finals, or survival stage rather, where it becomes exceptionally difficult for a team to qualify. But ladies and gentlemen, the game is just about, like literally just, we're right there. Okay, we're right there, I promise. So like now, I'm getting those oral words. Game is ready. So here we go to kick off the second stage, the knockout stage, PMSL EU, with our first match in Erangel. And once again, we are having a very southern path on this map.
Yeah, we're getting straight into it, very much down towards the south side of the map at the moment. I always find that this kind of drop spot is a little bit difficult for some teams to contend with. And making it happen is not always easy either. You have a long way to head up towards that north side, and it cuts out a lot of those areas that you might want to go to if you're a slightly less confident team like Merny, even Zaki. So I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, those areas are a little bit more difficult to get towards. It's a bad area.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
I can go tomorrow. I think that Zaki locks you into a pretty difficult position. I mean, you're coming out of Zaki, you're at the end of the queue for multiple reasons, right? You're coming out of Zaki, you're at the end of the queue for North George. You have people move up towards shooting range, they'll cut you out. You have limited vision because you're not really getting a lot of that info early on in the game. Okay. I think Zaki's fun as an ending. I don't think Zaki's fun as a start.
Well, I hope for a Zarki finish in one of our games. Not sure it's going to be seen today. Not sure it's going to happen. But you know what? I will hope and pray for it, and hope and pray for a fantastic first game. But look at the start here, bruh. Starting off with that first blood, and Fenerbahce, the team that started with the highest points on that first day of the survival, or the group stage rather. This time around, not having the best of luck. Guys, remember, this is not Rondo. There's no recall. Don't go for the early fights. Why did he lose 3? What's going on?
I know, and again, this is the difficulty with a super southern playing path like this, where You still have 20 teams here. You're all unsure of what the optimal drop spots are for you. You're not always going to have the best position on the map. Keystone goes down. Now Valor actually taking out one player there, which is nice to see, considering Falcons haven't always had the best track record with hot drops. But yeah, there's really not a lot of places you can go to. You are looking for vehicles. I think Fenerbahce drop on one and they prioritize getting the vehicle and getting out of there. But it was well played from Bro. They were able to get weapons earlier and catch them out before they even were able to escape. But Fenerbahce, not a good start. Not a good start. Especially when you only have 12 matches here. Now it's one match striked off the card already.
Yeah. You have one player that might have the potential to play for play. But I mean, what hopes do you have of just one player from the beginning of the game until the very end? It's not something to really count on. And knowing that you have 12 games, you got to make it top 16 out of 20 to make it to the next stage of the competition. So I would say you're allowed one mistake. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 games where you can have 0 points. Outside of that, you really don't want to be repeating that kind of mistake. So you got to stay on top of your game.
Everybody gets one. But again, it's difficult because would you classify as a mistake, or would you classify that more as it's just integral to the knockout stage and the fact they got a horrible play stuff?
I mean, I don't think they should have lost 3. That's the problem. Losing 3. If you lost 2, you could have a duo. At least it would be, you'd have someone to play with, someone to cover with you.
It happens.
But being a solo, it's just way too difficult, and I think it's going to cause them a lot of problems.
Yeah, it happens, dude. I mean, where they were dropping, they're trying to drop on that singular car spawn, right? It's unfortunate Bro drops on top of them, and they had no weapons, so I don't really know what you want the third guy to do. I mean, maybe you can go stealth.
Survive.
Yeah. I think those things do happen. It's unfortunate. But yeah, you're right. Everyone does get one. I think those type of starts of the game, excusable one time. And I think for Fenerbahce, it's likely something they'll note down and be like, well, probably shouldn't go there again, considering also the Bra is one of the more aggressive teams in the early game historically. So yeah.
A little bit more aggressive indeed. Now, one of the things we haven't had a chance of seeing, which was TNB and Ano Famagusta, one of the teams that, or well, 2 teams that drop on melee base, had a little bit of a split start this time around. Both teams will be making their way to the zone a little bit early. I'm surprised that they're dipping from the military base already. Have a little bit more time to maybe load up, but maybe they're prioritizing positioning for now.
Yeah, you've got Circle that still encompasses Lighthouse, so you kind of want to get across the bridge, or at least get to a position where you can scout the bridge early on. Because teams can play that position for quite some time. We still got 3 minutes until we hit stage 2, so holding teams out there wouldn't be a terrible thing. But yeah, we are having a little bit of the mind meld going on between these 2 squads, both wanting to do the exact same thing at the exact same time. I really do think it's a struggle to have more than 1 milli-based team in a match at a time, because not only are you worried about the scout over towards Lighthouse and people holding you out, but now you're having a fight that happens earlier, which further delays that rotate. And it's not like you can play over towards the east side either, because the team playing conservatory. So yeah, it's tough.
But I like the fact that, I was gonna say I like the fact that they're not gonna fight. Noisy Boys completely ignore Anorthosis Famagusta and try to cross that bridge. Maybe they can turn the tables on them. Kenzor, unfortunately, spotted out. Wagner's going to pick that one up. Oron might be next to follow. One more bullet will take him down. Milas. But remember, he has no armor. He has no helmet. He really has nothing outside of his UMP. But he is applauding. There is a response from ISO. Lovely. Trades back and forth.
Yeah, that's a really good retrade back into Wagner's Arder. It's also super beneficial that my guy had a full med kit on the go. We'll see how Anorthosis Famagusta deals with some. What a name, by the way. Real mouthful.
This fight's not done. It's default. Trying to step up to ISO a little bit. They managed to secure the elimination onto Kenzor, and now default might be in a little bit of a sticky situation. But at least they didn't lose their member. Wagner, there's an opportunity for a revive on him. Looks like Noisy Boys might be continuing this rotation and ignoring, just staying at this bridge. They don't want to bring any more attention to themselves. They don't want any more teams camping them out.
This is rough. And honestly, it's something that needs to change. And I do strongly believe that if this continues, I mean, one of these teams is likely going to drop out of the knockout stage because you just can't continue this approach of 2 in melee base and having to deal with this fight over and over and over again without the option of going over to the eastern side either. One team needs to relent eventually.
I mean, they are not in the same group from what I can tell. Anarthosis is in Group C with Bushido, Wildcats, Nextruya, Team Falcons, and Besiktas. So let's just get an idea as to which. I'm assuming it's Group E that isn't playing in game number 1. I'll double check and make sure to let everyone know.
I think that the thing is that even if they're not playing in the same group, it's still going to affect them, like overall in the games. Like, also, why is our conservatory team coming over towards the west side right now? Like, just play east. This is a crazy maneuver. Like, you can easily wrap Yaz.
They might be testing things out here in the knockout stage. Might cost them the qualification to the main event. I don't know. They want to be trying these kinds of things out here. But Wagner is looks like he's still on the hunt for one of the players that was a little bit annoying towards him from the Noisy Boys. Not sure if they're going to be able to find it, but we switch over to Paparo Supermassive a little bit as they are taking over west of Rozak right now.
It's a rough circle twice in a row right now where heads up towards the northern side after having a particularly rough southern playing path. The Noisy Boys as well as Anathosis will just continue going at it here. And it is not going well for either side. But ASG might be able to get in and get something done from the sidelines, but all 3 teams wasting a lot of time.
Ooh, hold on. Where's the third party? Yeah, that's right. It's Asgard. They heard a lot of this fighting. This is exactly what I was talking about. Why are you waiting outside the zone for so long? The second the fight was over, you could expect maybe someone's going to come third party, and that was Asgard. One of our strong teams and strong contenders coming in from the group stage. Anarthos is a force to be reckoned with. That's why I'm surprised that they're making this kind of mistake this early in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, the players on Anathosis are actually genuinely pretty nice. It's a good nade. Macron as well. Over the top, we'll take down 1. But was this really worth it? Was this really worth it for the amount of elims they're able to pull out and squeeze from this maneuver? With him moving over towards that northwest side, again, you could have been long gone. Up Yaz, across bridge, over the top side of Severny. Instead, you've got teams already making that rotate right now, looking to get themselves into a fantastic position. I think Asgard just gives up a great spot on the map for 2 elims. That's... I don't agree with it.
Yeah, definitely not a worth trade for the team. Don't think it's going to have a massively important impact on them. Or negative. I would say positive impact, rather, with all those delays. And now you're going to be losing out on some stims, some heals. You're going to lose out on a lot of information you could have gathered if you were here a little bit earlier on. The fact that you were
as well.
Yeah. And everyone's going to be looking at you the second that you walk in, because there's going to be a lot of teams playing around the edge, I want to say, considering that we still have a lot of teams. We still have 16. No one's eliminated yet, team-wise.
Yeah, I think for Asgard, like, they could be in the position Boars are in right now. Just west side of shooting range. Just a lovely spot to play in over towards the dead trees. Instead, they're rotating with 0 information over towards Gatka Fields. It's a terrifically bad scenario to be in. But again, let's take a look at what's happening on screen. We've got Xlay coming against the remainder of the Noisy Boys. Let's make a rapid dash over towards Ruins. I'm surprised they got here, honestly, Sandstorm. I really am.
Somehow they made it all this way, only for Xlay to be able to push them as a four-man squad. You can try and revive, but Noir's just... He's trying to find the right angle, and he does. The second you revive him, the knock comes back in. Easy nade, easy fight. And that is going to be Xlay starting off strong. 2 eliminations, not losing anyone unless... Hold on, we got another fight here. IDA and Kara. And then they just decide, maybe not. Maybe just no.
Yeah, that's a difficult ridgeline to breach, honestly. I need to hold it fairly strongly right now. I'm glad that team has stayed together the way they have. It's a very, very strong team. All the players on side I'm a big fan of. I always enjoy when squads tend to stay together as well. It's a lot of young, up-and-coming players as well, where I've been a very, very big fan of them during their progression.
Well, Besiktas right now progressing towards the likes of Falcons. They were able to get themselves a little bit of damage, but Falcons are the one that strike first with 2 quick knocks. Can they finish off the rest of the squad? Or will Falcons be losing any more of their teams, any more of their players? Rather, Narvalo securing the elim onto Zeptimus, so no revive in that situation. Why is it always Rauf that gets eliminated first? Because he's always scouting for the team.
Well, yeah, you could say that. I guess you could say that.
He's always the first to go.
We'll try not to be mean about it.
It's not mean. It's facts. He's scouting. It's always the scout that gets eliminated first because he's always the one that's trying to get the information.
Yeah, it is. Generally, you would prefer if your scout lived a little bit longer than 14 minutes, so you can.
Rauf has like a 10% higher chance of being eliminated if he's scouting for his team. I don't know why.
He's got like a debuff on him. Yeah,
yeah, a little bit. He's just too strong. Must balance Rauf.
Yeah, it's not easy, Falcons, in that sense. Because you look at a player like Silas, for instance, his scouting is way safer. And a lot of times gets a lot more done with it. I think Ralph struggles to replicate that type of gameplay. But it's not that he's a bad player.
I feel like he'd always go that extra mile, but that extra mile is always just one too far. When it comes to Roof. Yeah, just a little
super
bit.
treacherous. And it sucks because I think Ralph is one of the smartest players in the game. In esports, at least for PUBG Mobile, his gameplay just hasn't really kept up with the times. There are moments when he absolutely pops off, and I think they have to keep him because his tactical know-how is that good. But there's definitely been some moments recently where I've seen him and been like, it looks like he's made a real effort to improve mechanically, and that is obvious to me. Yeah, these scouting plays do need to change a little bit because you're right. You can't keep going down first all the time. So much of a non-plus for the rest of the team.
Yeah, because then they end up being in a situation like they are now where they have lost a 3rd member, if I'm not mistaken. They have a 3rd one on the ground, and looks like it's just going to be 1 player left standing, 1 player left alive. Matters to get all the points for Falcons, and that gets added to the list alongside Fenerbahce as a game that has been wasted. Meanwhile, Boars, they have Yusuf from Xlay focusing on them, and that's going to be a free elimination going over to them. Havlik might be the next one to follow as well. A lot of damage coming over from Emre. And IDA looking for their first elimination. It looks like Boars bite the dust. 0 eliminations in 14th place. Famagusta right after them as well. Teams are dropping like flies as the zone has put them in quite a precarious situation. With a little bit of water and a lot of open ground.
Yeah, we're over towards Center Island, just west side of Rozhok. There's a horrible circle to be in. So non-committal as well. A lot of these rotations have been royally messed up as well because of that early playing path. I think a lot of teams try to get ahead of the curve by moving over towards the north side. They cut out looting time to do that. Now the circle comes back down towards the south. There's a lot going wrong here.
Quite a lot indeed. but some things are going right for the likes of Xlay. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing from this team at the beginning of this day and at the beginning of this game. 4 eliminations, they haven't lost anyone. Decent enough position right now, holding on to this castle and just watching quite a lot of players. And then there's a little bit of a split among them as well. So they're trying to gather as much information as possible. But we'll get back to them later, as right now, Bra and S2G. So a little bit of posturing, a couple of nades, and a decent bit of damage, forcing Bra back. This time, S2G stays safe for now. But for how much longer as they move in?
Hansi is down again for S2G. I think they've made a pretty big effort to try and work more as a team. Obviously, it didn't work out for them in the group stages. They just barely scraped in, but I think that it's a big change. It's a big change in their playstyle. It's a big change in their gameplay as well. Adding a new IGL into the mix, that's never easy to contend with. I don't mind this position. They have the majority of the landmass to work with. They do need to deal with Bra on their sidelines though at some point. This is horrible. This is a horrible circle. I think a lot of those teams that you were mentioning down towards Ruins are going to massively suffer now. Most teams are already set up over towards Bridge, holding underneath it. So yeah, I think if you're on the south side, it might be game over at this point.
Yeah, I don't see a world where they're going to be able to make it, not with all those teams already on the northern side. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you can see exactly just how difficult this next move is going to be for a lot of those teams. Xlay, Asgard, IDA, and Kara as well. That last player from Oscar Esports as well, Hardman, he's going to have to swim a little bit. He might be the only one that survives out of all the teams currently located on the south side. Shockwave in a decent position this time around. Shockwave was a team that we were exceptionally worried about in the last week. They were one of the teams that made it with a difference of 1 or 2 points, and they had to watch on the final day, but we'll get back to that. As Xlay are in a little bit of danger, and this is exactly what we were talking about. The rotations later on from the teams coming in from the south.
Put out there a little bit, but
are gonna get bloody right now. Lazy gets beat. Lation takes him down. 6 for Xlay. They lost War and Yusuf.
Out. And again, they make it a little bit further than I expected from that south side. But still go out fairly early in 12th place. You know, there is a possibility for Xlay to actually make this one work from Castle. Just a question of how willing to some of these teams over towards the northern side want to get involved, want to influence this southern engagement. And if this heads down towards the south, towards Center Island, you know, Xlay could have a really good game. So for teams like Shockwave, as well as BRA, they really do want to punish teams moving across.
Yeah, that they do. And Lation just trying to hide in the car for as long as possible. And they can see the smoke from under the water. He's not going to survive for that long. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. We'll see if that's actually true or not. Meanwhile, Yakta from Xlay just throwing nade after nade after nade. He knows there's a couple of teams in front of him at the moment. Thing is, he has to cross. The zone is forcing him to start moving. How much longer can IDA survive the onslaught and the barrage of nades coming their way? When will they actually respond? Darken peaks, Darken takes Yakta down, and now it's all down to Lation from Xlay. And IDA have 3 eliminations to their name at the moment. Ooh, hold on. They're still not safe, though.
Yida's definitely struggling. I mean, this is not an easy cross. There's barely any cover to work with, and Xlay already moving across here in a position to get shots down range. That's really nice. It's very nice indeed.
Now, CEO and Kara somehow were able to cross without any issues. They themselves have secured 4 eliminations as well. Just trying to make sure that they can sweep that southern side, not give any chance for another team. And they managed to sweep up Madcap as well. He goes swimming with the fishes, eliminated in 11th place. Now we're down to 10 squads and 20 players only. So you're looking at 4 for Bra, 4 for Kara, 3 for Shockwave and S2G. And then it's just a bunch of solos. Xlay, Besiktas, Falcons, Papara Supermassive, Oscar, and IWNRX all have solos left in the field. But if I'm being honest, Blank, there have been quite a few situations in the previous week where we have seen exactly what player can do. One player was able to do so much, and specifically you mentioned Ozrox. And I remember Rogo from Ozrox being able to get 3 knocks with 3 nades. And that was the best that we've seen, basically, from that team. Just that solo play. And Elation here, you know, he spots out, quick little knock and a limb. He knows he's not going to survive that long. He knows he's not long for the world. And decides, you know what, I'm just going to try and get another point. And we know how much every single point is going to matter here. And to start with 7 elims and a decent amount of points. And Lation, he's on the lookout for more. He finds Poser and he takes him down. That's the 4th elimination for him and the 8th for the team. But that is it for him, says Lewis. As Xlay is eliminated, and so is who, I wonder. It is Oscar, and now we're down to 8.
It's a funny one with Kara right now, just constantly peeking the guy with the hard cover on the other side of the river. He's doing great work there. I mean, for Lation getting all the way up to 8 limbs total off the back of that. 8th place, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. BRA, though, taking a field day with this game. But I will say I was very impressed with S2G's movements. The fact that Shockwave aren't able to make their way out from that southwest side, I think Icy does a really, really good job being that backstop for them. When they actually moved out, he'd already got the read on them immediately, called for some backups straight away, got some shots over towards them. And after that, Shockwave actually loses a player, and S2G is able to restabilize on the northern side. So very, very impressive. Again, this does move further up towards the high ground, towards where S2G is playing. I think it might be difficult still fighting off against BRA, though, with the force that they have on side. I think they are just going to start racking up the points off the back of this game. It will be a lovely one to get the chicken dinner on.
Yeah, and a great way for them to breathe life back into the roster. I know it's only the knockout stage, but when you're talking about S2G, this prestigious organization, barely making it to the knockout stage by a difference of 2 or 3 points, you want to see them start off strong, and that's exactly what they're doing here. But Bra is still that nuisance that they have to deal with if they want to take complete control of this game. Bra has the full lineup and 10 eliminations at the moment. If anyone's starting off strong, actually, it's them, and they are looking for more. They are looking for Narvalo. They are looking for Falcons. They're looking for that dub out of the top 5 right now. Make it 4 as Falcons are out for the count.
Yeah, they needed to deal with Bridge. There was no other way about it. They had to take out the players from behind there because very, very easy to get backstabbed where currently the RA is playing. So it totally makes sense to me that they would go for that play anyway. S2G have set themselves up well. I think my main question is whether S2G and BRA fight early, or do they kind of, you know, have a gentleman's agreement, look over towards Shockwave, take them out first. I imagine BRA is going to look and see if they can find a knock early and then move on top of that. This is fairly aggressive coming through from Quantum, but he is getting good info off the back of it. And in the meantime, S2G's forced to deal with Shockwave crashing in. This is absolutely BRA win.
That it is, as Shockwave looks like they have just sealed the deal for them with that engage on S2G. The knocks might be in favor of S2G, but the eliminations might just go in favor of Bra at the end of this game, and they are looking for a record setter in this one. They have 12. They're looking for 16. They're looking for 17. Can they secure all of them? Kisyu just comes in and takes every single one of them away from Shockwave. That is just disastrous for that lineup. Solkai, the last one alive. And down he goes. 15 eliminations for Bra. Lost the last member standing from Paparo Supermassive. And this entire lobby against 3 from Bra Esports. We know exactly where he is. He's going to try and take this fight 1v1. Kisyu steps up. What's that SPFK going to do? It's in a 1v3. Okay, lovely. Makes it a 1v2 now, deciding to go for the heal. He wants to go for this play. He wants to go for this clutch, and it is entirely possible if Bra do not play this right. Lost decides he's thinking about finishing that elimination, finishing that knockdown, securing the point. He knows everyone matters here. And he might not be able to take down the last 2 members. He throws a couple of nades and then completely switches up his position. Might
Yeah, they
might
have
go quiet.
completely smoked themselves off out of vision here. I don't think this is the right play. I think BRA, though, got to imagine that he's swung south here. I think it was very doubtful that he would have been able to swing north. I think they had vision on that. So as Zell starts to creep up, this rock could give him some extremely good high ground potential. If he can find any kind of purchase on it.
The fact it's a 3v1 and Bra are playing essentially a 2v1 and reviving just goes to show how careful they are being here. They know it's a 3v1, but still, seeing that one of their players get knocked, the potential for a 1v3 is there, and they don't want to have that happen to them. Lovely little scouting from them to check out exactly where that last player from Papara Supermassive might be, and he might just be eliminated to the blue zone. The fact, listen, why? He couldn't have gotten here, could he?
It's actually, I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but the fact that they smoke themselves, no way. Is he rapping off the back of this? Is insane. The fact that they smoked themselves off the south side as well as the hilltop. Oh, come on, please.
No!
That's the double. Oh! Get the last. Oh, so close. I mean, for BRA, though, that was actually criminal. I don't think they ever should have made mistakes like that. That was crazy. Oh, dear me. But yeah, the only way he could have swung was south. And they were throwing nades on that car for so long. And what's the golden rule? If there's obvious hard cover, you don't hide behind it. So why would Lost be behind the vehicle? Yeah, BRA goes from what looked like a masterclass of playing on North Rozhok's side to a really, really quite, let's just say, a weird ending.
Yeah, I agree. It should have been a lot. I mean, look, it was the fact that it was a 3v1. He knocked one down. They went for, you know what? Let's just play for the revive. You revive, okay, and you've wasted like a minute or two just dancing around the zone,
And
driving. Yeah, and so much utility. And it was still put down to a 1v1, and he actually almost flicked onto that last player. No. It should not have been that close. But you know what? What matters is they sealed the deal. They got the elimination. 16 elims at the end of that game. 10 points for that chicken dinner, of course. They're going to be very, very happy with that start. And when we're talking about 12 maps or 12 matches per team, you're talking about one chicken dinner and then decent consistency in the rest of the games. And you should be perfectly fine. You'll be able to qualify. So, bruh, already feeling, I want to say, like, not that much pressure left on their shoulders at this point with this kind of start. So as long as you keep it up, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I'd say they're around a third of the way there already off that game. 26 points. I mean, do that 3 more times. I think that you're relatively set, I would say. And here's our MVP in Storm. 1,100 damage. Not bad at all. But yeah, I think that it's such a weird one for me watching that match and like how well they played the early game to just how badly they played that late game. I think there was no need for it overall. I think maybe it was a little bit of showboating towards the end, which got a little bit spicy. But yeah, I do feel also quite bad for S2G because although they played a fantastic north side of the circle, honestly, they really did. It was a moment where Shockwave were just like, we gotta pick and choose who we want to crash here. Again, I feel like when we looked at Shockwave, I think it was very obvious to me and you, Sandstorm, that that's a case of this is the last stand. That is a last stand approach. They know they're going down, but they're going to try and see maybe 1 or 2 eliminations off the back of it. I think there was another way they could have played it. That was definitely the most BM way they could have done it over towards S2G, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would say S2G was collateral damage at the end of the game. And we were talking about them so positively as well. It's like, yeah, go on, S2G. That's the organization we're used to. And then it's just all of a sudden Shockwave push, get a couple of knocks, Shockwave go down, they get thirded, and the game just kind of unravels there for Esports and Lost. It took us on a lovely little journey.
You did.
Around the north side of Rozhok and the north side of, I want to say, Erangel in general. It was a lovely little tour, and it almost came to a crashing halt when it was a 3v. I still can't believe he made it to a 1v1. I still can't believe he did that. That's crazy. In that situation, I would have wanted him to win, 100%. Just for the clutch moment. That's all. The fact that it was a 1v3, made it 1v2, back to 1v3, and then into a 1v1 is insane. He should have never had that opportunity in the first place. But the fact that he did, very, very cool for him and Papara Supermassive. But unfortunately, it did not work out in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Lost, every clutch moment, it's not just luck for him, right? It is preparation when he gets to that end game. And with the all-day 120 FPS on the GT30 Pro, it's the alpha gaming phone.
That it is.
Gamers don't crack. And you can, they can hashtag carry.
How many R's is it?
1, 2, 3, 6 R's. Yeah, drop the 6 R's in there. And then drop that hashtag all over the place. But yeah, we're very thankful to Infinix and the GT30 series GT30 series helping us put on this show here at the PMSL EU. But overall, very cool. Just hilarious to me that BRA literally lost in that moment. But we'll be heading into our second game shortly. We'll be over on Miramar. We're getting the lobby set up as we speak.
Yeah, but of course, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, since it is the knockout stage, every single game we will have one group be swapped out. So that means we are going to be having a little bit of a, I think it's going to be funky today. I like it. Just a different flavor every single game, throwing it all in there together. And I want to see who's going to be swapped out, who's going to be coming in for that second match. So let me see if I can find that out exactly.
Yeah, pull it up. But yeah, overall, Miramar, it's always fun. I think it's difficult though. Again, with the groups shifting in and out right now, and with varying play styles, a lot of teams over the last year, it is a little bit more difficult to work with in the group stages, the knockout stages, because you're constantly playing against different teams, playing different types of solutions. I think that it's definitely fun. We're going to check out some replays from that last game because there was certainly some highlight moments. Falcons taking down one player from Papara Supermassive. I think Papara Supermassive actually made the right play very early in that match where they headed over towards Bridge. And they played that out as long as possible. In my opinion, I felt like it was going to be a Bridge finish, but the fact that it kept pulling north is really hard. And we always got to go back to that moment where we had the Southern Plane Path. But here's our match ranking for that one. S2G coming away with 12, I would say very well earned points. 26 for BRA. We talked about that quite a bit. Papara Supermassive able to get 8. Falcons, with the help of Narvalo, who's a real trooper in that game, getting 8 points for themselves in 4th.
Yeah, managing to secure 3 placement points was very, very good for them. Xley, again, 8 eliminations, 0 placements this time around for them, but as long as they were able to get themselves some points. Unfortunately, teams that weren't, you're talking about Boris, you're talking about Fenerbahce, Noisy Boys, Oscar Esports, not the best of starts for these lineups, and it's going to be one game gone to waste for them. Let's keep in touch with them and let you boys and girls know exactly who was present in that first game and who was not. These 16 teams have 4FS, Jetgo, Regnum, and Ulf were the ones taking break from game number 1. So they'll be jumping in, and we'll be going backwards from Group D to Group A in terms of the teams that, or the groups that will be skipping the match. So next up, there is not going to be a back-to-back or potential for back-to-back chicken dinner, as Bra, Fenerbahce, Oscar, and Xley Esports will be the teams that are dipping out of the next game. And for the first time today, Ulf, Regnum, 4FS, and Jetco will be jumping in. So, and of course, with it being Miramar, it is going to be very, very sunny. So make sure you have your shades. Unless you live in the UK and Ireland. We don't believe in the sun because it just doesn't show up, really. It did today, though. I'll be honest, it did today for me.
So it's a weird one, right? Because, I mean, I'm of that opinion that the summer is quite short in the UK. But right now, it's getting I don't know if I'd say short, but it's really intense. So we're getting I'm getting 35 degrees at the moment. Like, that's crazy.
That is really 35 here. For the UK is kind of mad.
Yeah, 35 degrees for the UK. And I still, at that moment where like, when do I start investing in like multiple shades and start investing in actual sunscreen? Because I just never expect. I'm like, well, it's only like a couple of months a year. So do I really need to do this or not? Yeah, I think we're reaching. I need to own multiple shades territory.
Multiple shades, brother. You just need the one. That's it. You just need the one pair of shades.
Casual shades, going out shades. You know what I'm saying? Supermarket shades.
Oh, see, you're not a true gamer. I don't go out in the sun. I stay indoors all day and play games.
Damn, I wish, dude. I wish. Got errands to run, man. Sucks.
I mean,
Don't like errands.
Yeah, we just want to play games all day. Unfortunately, we're not professional players. We don't have that opportunity, but we do have 49 professional players in the lobby right now. We're waiting for the last 15 to jump in and then hopefully take off straight away into Miramar. But with it being a different group joining and a different group leaving every single time, it is going to take a couple of minutes longer for us to set up those lobbies. But don't worry, production is on it and we have our lovely team taking care of it. I mean, we've seen the match ranking for the previous game. And guess what? The match ranking for the previous game, it's actually also the overall. Because yes, we've only had one game. Things haven't changed. So yes, that's the result for the day so far. Just four more games to go.
It's always fun. I also, I really like the prediction didn't show the overalls. Like, because I've had a fair few times where we show match rankings and overalls. I'm like, yep, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Well done, production. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, so not much will change, but this is definitely be a case for a few of our teams. You're right, though. BRA not playing in this one is a bit of a kicker because it would have been nice to carry that momentum through from Erangel onto this match. But I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that Erangel is a bit of a wild card. Erangel with the southern plane path into a northern push on the circle, into on center island, and then northern push again. I don't think it was very easy to predict.
It's happened a couple of times over the last few days as well. I would say we've had at least 3 or 4 Erangels that have been southern plane path plus northeast or northwest zone. It's been ridiculous, but these teams have been used to it just from the last couple of days. I want to say it's been hectic. Okay, and Miramar, a couple of them have just been very south, very southeast, a decent bit of water. It's been driving the players crazy, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I'm pretty sure the players may not have been. But ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. Here we go. Game number 2, Group E, taking a break. Group D, jumping into the fray. And into Miramar, we continue with our second game of the day. Let's see what the new group will have to show for us in this one. And let's see what kind of plane path we got. We have a decent one. I like it.
Yeah, this is nice. Again, I was watching over on day 1, day 2, and day 3, and you had a lot down towards Partona, you had down towards Chumacera, you had stuff happening over towards El Pozo, and there wasn't a huge amount, I want to say, over towards Labadita, Los Leones, and Impala, because it's actually quite a nice place on the map to play a lot of times. And instead, because I mean, obviously, off towards East Labadita, you got East Labadita Fields, which is not enjoyable, but generally, the game plan is the same a lot of times for that area of where you need to go, where you need to post up, depending on where you started in the circle. Down towards Chumacera, Partona, it's a little bit different story where it's like you get what you get, and if it sucks, then well, that's what you're gonna have to play with.
Well, you know what, we had one of our previous games on Miramar being very, very close to Partona, but not close enough for any kind of finish there. And would you look at that? Not a bad plane path. I would say not a bad zone with the plane path that we have at the moment.
Yeah.
So very happy with that.
Sorry, I was just going to say the main thing about this circle is just that we have a lot of high ground involved. I think a lot of players don't mind this kind of one, especially if you Besiktas early on here, as well as the Falcons. You can play over towards East El Pozo Hillside, which is nice. I feel like I'm disliking La Cobreria as a drop spot more and more as time goes on. I feel like any team that plays it is always quite late into these zones, but this is one of the few times where it's like, actually, this is pretty chilled out.
And it is going to be a very chill time, specifically for Shockwave, all the way up in Ruins. Okay. I think a couple of times they were dropping with Falcons around El Pozo, so definitely don't want to do it this time around.
Yeah. I mean, Monte Nuevo is open, but I think by the time you made the commitment over towards Ruins, you sort of stuck with that one. Again, Ruins and another Zaki location, I would say.
Yeah, it is the Zarki of Miramar, isn't it?
Zarki of Miramar.
It is the Zarki of Miramar.
No, it is. It's tough to get out of. I actually don't particularly like the loot in this area either. I
didn't think there was decent loot there in the first place.
It's just, so you're right. You are absolutely right. The only reason that it's somewhat viable is because of esports settings. That's the only reason.
So yeah, outside of that, you won't see a lot of people dropping towards ruins, except moi, because I'm terrible at the game, and it takes me forever to loot.
Well, to be fair, if you're not playing an esports setting, dropping towards ruins in your own games, totally fine. I am actually that guy that drops towards Campo Militar.
Oh, really?
I drop Minas da Valle. All these places really nice because they're out of the way for a long time, and I can kind of, step my way into the circle and make the pit stops along the way.
You know, I am a...
Are you a hot dropper?
No, I'm a Campo Militar enjoyer as well.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, I don't like hot drops, man.
Yeah,
no. Because I'm old now. I just don't like losing the game in the first 5 minutes.
Up there, Blank. We're both up there, man.
Wait, I just
hold on. How old are you?
Well, me, I'm 29.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm 31, brother. We're there.
We're there.
Yeah. But you need to get like 30 plus. 30 plus is when it's like...
It's downhill. Just like
I didn't want to set that up for you, but yes, slightly downhill.
Hey man, I think what you now, like your 663rd day of exercise?
637, 638, something like that.
Like that.
You know what? Why didn't I pick... The only thing I'm questioning is why I didn't pick this up like 5 or 6 years ago. Why did I start this in my 30? Yeah, I started when I'm 30.
Now.
But I'm going to keep it going.
That's still good. Doesn't matter when you start, as long as you get it done. And that applies to a lot of PUBG mobile teams as well. It doesn't matter when you start, as long as you get the job done. So if you want to get yourself into that top 20, that top 16 to go over towards the finals, now's the time to do it, right? Even if you're towards the bottom of the tables on day 1, there's still a big chance to make it happen. And again, because we're playing these groups, we're not doing what we did in the group stage. You might have noticed in the group stage, teams only had 2 days of play. Here over in the knockout stage, every team gets to play at least once every day, most likely more. But the thing is that if you get to day 3, you've made some mistakes on day 1, day 2, there's still that time to have a look at the games and be like, okay, this is what we can change in day 3, and this is how we can make a big push for the top. Now, Besiktas was in the top of the map for quite a while right now. I think it's just a singular player in Rookie. Falcons already sent up, and they've got to be clean on these shots. They do find him. That's a big pickup, actually, Sandstorm, because I think the rest of the team is still up towards the couple of the year.
Yeah. I like the fact that... No. Yeah, I was going to say, this time around, Raouf not being eliminated early on, so big plus for him and the Falcons. And Besiktas losing out on their own scouter at the start of the game, losing out on Rookie. And that high ground will be claimed for Falcons. I thought that had to be one of the first things that they do from El Pozo the second that they see the zone is, I guess, where it is in this situation. You take that high ground, you scout out a little bit, you get a decent amount of information. So, and the fact that it was just like a few seconds before the player from Besiktas was there. If he was a few seconds later, it would have been him being eliminated, him not having the low ground and the disadvantage. But great start.
Yeah, very good start. I think for guys who are on the Falcons, you get this kind of circle, you have to capitalize on it.
Yes.
Over from El Pozo towards high ground. It is, to me, it's a bit weird that Besiktas took as long as they did to try and regroup on that position. The whole point you have that is so you can anchor it and then send your players over that way. Not a very fun position to be taking a fight here for IWNRX right now. Kara upstairs. Very difficult to get the nades in over towards this building.
Yeah, but they're trying. Swain managing to find the opening onto Lewis. And will secure that one. Not looking good for Kara at the moment. CEO trying to see if he can find a response and opening something for himself and for the team. And looks like the idea might be bail. We want to play with our full strength at the rest of the game, so let's please survive. That could be the call. But Marceau is not going to be able to follow that call. He is going to be stuck in a 1v4. And Kamikaze just yeets a nade, forcing him to go back. Still not going down. Marceau's not going to make it easy. He is going to torture them a little bit. Not too much, though. He gets a knock. Lovely. Can he get another one? Nope. Unfortunately, not able to secure the elimination as well. He will be taken down. No points secured for him. And IWNRX, pretty happy with that one. They claim the position and they get themselves a free point.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think that if you're IWNRX assault in that position, if you knew there was only one player in there, absolutely fantastic trade to go for. because you can overwhelm that spot. Because as soon as you have hold of it, I don't think it's super easy to assault that position. I think it was over the conversation with Max the other day where that building's really hard to nade. And there's a lot of positions where you can just tuck yourself away, which is why it required Swain to actually head up on high and just do it the old-fashioned one, the S12K.
I thought for a second you meant he was aiming with S12K from that range. I was like, that's crazy. But no. Let's have a look at that second shift. Southeast or southwest we go. Looks like the teams on that higher ground are going to be benefiting quite a lot. I'm looking towards Besiktas, I'm looking towards Falcons, but Redox is very, very far. He's very on his own. And my question is, where are the rest of the Falcons going to be positioned if two of them are up on that high ground? If not three already, it's Rauf, Koa, and Narvalo. So it's just Redox that's currently left to his... I want to say maybe demise, because DNB might be passing by, but no, looks like Narvalo is heading over to Redox. He's going to be regrouping, and he should be picking him up. Papara Supermassive and IWNRX heading in from the eastern side, but we're heading to the Noisy Boys.
I think if you're Falcons right now, I think that's the right choice. I do actually think that's the right choice for them. Get yourself regrouped on top of Redox on the north side of El Pozzo, because that high ground doesn't really hold that much weight anymore. It's nice for scouting. You'll be able to pick off teams as they come on through, but it's not worth a whole lot anymore. On the other hand, you have team down towards the south of the one, which is taking control of the ridge side. And Falcons know they're never getting their hands on that. It was sort of like, it's one of those luck things where if the circle went slightly more north, I think Falcons would have all stayed up on that high ground for much, much longer. But it's the right play. You know, you cut your losses. You're like, we might not find a huge amount of success from this building, from this high ground, but at least we can get some scouting done. Nice, a bit of a delivery there. But at least we get some scouting done in the meantime, whilst we have our players over towards El Pozzo try and control a little bit more area. For FST, good shots over towards Septimus. Goes down almost immediately. Goodness me.
This is the second time the Septimus has been taken out in the early stages of the game. Must not be happy with that one, because now Besiktas, this is a second game wasted. And remember, we talked about it. How many games can you stand to waste in this competition? Especially when you're talking about 16 out of 20? Maybe 1 or 2? More than that, and you are opening yourself up to so many things.
Did you see that? What is going on?
What is it? Wait, hold on. What is happening?
So Koa got knocked.
Yeah.
And then Ralph proceeded to throw himself off the mountain. And knocked himself.
And then Koa got knocked again? Wait.
I think Koa's just gone.
Are they Falcons? Yeah, no. Brother, no.
That's not good.
No, hold on. I'm looking at the minimap. I see Rauf. I don't see Koa. And I see Redox and Narvalo still in El Pozo. He's gone. So basically, Koa got knocked. I think Ralph tried to drop down to get him, knocked himself in the process, and then Koa's just launched himself off the mountain in a fit of rage. Koa be like, I'ma head out.
That's so frustrating as well, because that is an unbelievable spot to be having right now in the circle.
And it's gone.
That's bad, man.
There's no way.
The Falcons actually thought they could fly. You guys, it's a name. It's not what you are.
You cannot do it. Oh my God. So literally they threw the game.
They literally threw the game.
They literally 100%. Threw it.
While singing I Believe I Can Fly.
Believing is not, it can only get you so far. It's not actually going to help you fly. I actually cannot believe.
Real Buzz Lightyear moment, but whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
We moved past it. Shockwave in the meantime.
So we're not aiming for the van. We're aiming for the floor.
Aim for the bushes.
I'll see you on the other side.
Oh dear me. I wish we had a replay on that, so I'm so sad we don't have a replay of it.
Yeah, if there's anything we could get a replay 4. It's this, please, for the love of God. You know, no. I want it with the comms. I want the replay with the comms and the POV cameras on the players. I want to hear exactly what happened.
It's just Koa head in hands, man. 100%. You know it as well.
There's got to be some screaming in the background. Meanwhile, Narvalo and Redux are like, guys, what's happening?
What's happening over there? What are you doing? That's funny. We'll get back to the game. It's just that is a funny moment for us, and you'll have to let
It's fine. It's fine. Nothing else happened.
Yeah. Because we still have 15 teams left. I mean, it's been pretty slow going. And again, a lot of that is because of the terrain. You know, a lot of high ground involved. It's isolating a lot of these engagements to, you know, 3 or 4 teams at a time in one space, and a few teams up on high who are completely protected, other than some, including Shockwave, who were able to get their initial knock over towards Koa. So really well played to them. Go 4FS trying to rotate back through credit fields. Not sure what their plan is. I think a lot of teams would already be posted up. They could play in credit fields for a while right now, but I don't think it's optimal.
We'll see if it will be or not. At the moment, Asgard, I mean, Snowix is trying to dodge, but he can only dodge so many. Okay, hold on. He takes down Real. There's still a lot of bullets coming from behind him as well. The S12K can deal so much damage, but Akron is ready. There you have an S12K. I have a DBS. We know which one comes out on top in that fight. It's DBS 12 times out of 10.
It was a good pre-fight, to be honest with you, from Akron. I think Snowix had to have that moment of the instinct. You start pulling the trigger in advance. You don't even know he's coming, but you got to pull the ultra instinct on him. But yeah, it didn't work out. Again, I think there is an important thing to bring up right now is that the balls are suffering right now during these 2 games. I mean, we're not super deep in. Good shots from Takimi though over towards Tron. That is some incredible shots actually. Goodness me.
Takimi is just letting them fly. So many bullets, but decides, okay, let's just chill for a little bit. One of our boys is down, and this is not going to be another Koa/Rauf situation, is it? But Jetco are trying to climb up here. This is going to be a 1v2, and the nade could spell their doom, but there is a little bit of backup.
He set the car off as well.
That was perfect.
That's amazing.
That's actually perfect. The car was just flying away too.
Takimi's space program in action. I love it. Okay. Well, we got the vehicle in outer space. We've breached the stratosphere. Those players ain't coming back anytime soon. Well played. Very well played.
This has been the funniest game so far.
Yeah.
This has been.
Oh, you're right. You're hella right. Oh, dear me. Okay, side us down. That's from Wolf on that side.
Oh no, HamCG is down again. The first game's just, there's a lot of things repeating themselves from last game into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that
script writers.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely be much more harsh on S2G, but the thing is, it's so difficult because it's such a change in their gameplay right now from what they're used to. That I also want to be a little bit more lenient with that team. Again, though, I think HamCG and Kelsey just have this slight issue of overconfidence at times. That's the only thing I really want to say too much at the moment, because again, I think they'll get into finals. If they get into the finals, that's where I'll probably have some more criticism for them. But right now, I can be completely honest when I say that it is not easy switching IGLs.
Oh, it's definitely difficult for especially if it's an IGL that wasn't even with the team. Like if you're switching IGLs within the team, sure, that's half a mess. But you get someone from outside the team, someone new that you've never really played with. That's a whole different ball game. I want to say it's especially coming into a competition where the stakes are high, because when you get to the finals, it's top 3. That's it. Right now, it's breezy. 16 out of 20, 20 out of 24. That's nothing. The barrier for qualification, you're talking about 40, 50, 60 points in 12 games, averaging 5 to 6 points per game. Yeah. That's nothing. But when you're looking at qualifying top 3, you need to average 10 plus points per game to be able to make it to the very top. And then make it and get to the grand finals, Smash Rule comes into play. If you're not the best team every single day, if you're not able to pass that threshold, get that chicken dinner, it's not an easy task.
It is not. We're moving down towards the south side now, though. We still have that ridge side inside, which is going to cut off like basically the west and the eastern side teams. East side looks a lot more naughty right now because there is a huge amount of squads here, all struggling. I think that right now I'm looking at IWNRX to make their way through past S2G as well, both at the same time. Reckoning Courier are slightly ahead. Have a little bit of a compound with. We'll play to Redox and Narvalo though. They've been able to keep themselves alive for quite a while. Now Shockwave is struggling to get themselves off the top of this high ground. So Narvalo and Redox both made the right move early on.
That they did. But the teams, they need to make the right moves now. My lord. Ulf, S2G, Aparo Supermassive. Oh, Asgard as well. Feeling the pressure from IDA. And from the Noisy Boys as well. T, just a quick... I would say it was just a quick bump, one and done. In and out. Job done.
That's correct.
Move. Yeah. Dang.
That's what you really need. Make it happen fast. I think with the Falcons on that north side, though, they've been doing a really good job to clear out a lot of teams coming in from that northwest side, because as a two-man, you need to clear out as much space as possible. The Kimi, after all that, falls down. I don't
Imagine
know. I
if
think
the Falcons were full.
Yeah. I would have been a lot better. I don't know if the Kimi's dead. Or he's just knocked. I think he's just knocked right now and the team's going to pick him up.
I can't... No, he's still alive. I mean... Could be. We'll see. It should be.
Slightly behind on my map feed right now.
Yeah, same here. But from what I can tell, I mean, might have been knocked, could have been eliminated to the zone. We'll find out in a couple of short moments, because right now, Catch from Ulf is setting his sights onto the 3 players that are currently outside in the blue. Here we go. Nico from Papara Supermassive peeking onto Shockwave, rather. Similar color, but the Kimi. Well, we have our answer finally. He's dead. Confirmed. He's got.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of a difficult crossing down here. I think they found, I think the Kiwi at least found a lot of value from that high ground position. I think Shockwave should have started moving out a little bit earlier. Papara Supermassive was able to completely swarm this area early on, which is good for them. Now working with very few teams still at full strength right now. We're almost into stage 6, which is not easy. But yeah, it's basically valleys and ridge sides. It's a pretty fun final circle, actually. We don't really see this one too often.
I just keep thinking about that high ground blank. What could have been?
It's cursed. It was very cursed.
Just seeing how this end game could turn out for either IDA or for TNB. I feel like depending on who has control of the high ground at the end game, whoever wins the fight between those two could stand to make a redonkulous amount of points. You can scout out Asgard, you can scout out so many teams coming in from the north, but we'll see what Scarface and Ulf are doing at the moment as they are applying the pressure to STG, and Solkai just sitting there. No response. Gets taken down, and it's 8th elimination. That might be the 9th. No, it's actually stolen. Taken away by Papara Supermassive and S2G. 9th place, 0 eliminations. That means 0 points as well. It looks like Ulf are standing to make quite a decent amount of points from this one. Papara Supermassive currently in 2nd, looking to take that 1st place. They already have a decent amount of eliminations, but it is Ulf that's stepping up to the plate, and Asgard looking to 3rd party as well. Nade, ooh, lovely from Aaron. Nice. Perfectly placed. Not enough to take down Trodby, but he's not healing. He's going to try and throw a nade of his own. Peaks takes down one, almost takes down the other, but Aaron is ready with the response, and that's the 10th elimination for Ulf.
Yeah, fantastic. So, I mean, Ulf has a crazy lineup, in my opinion, in terms of players. Ida finally let go of their star in Aaron, transferred over towards Ulf, and honestly, he's playing with some real veterans on that side. And I'm glad he's doing well on that team here. Very, very, very good player indeed. One of my favorites coming through from PMSL EU. Scarface, one of the masters of long range. Aaron, who's able to take the fight up close easily enough. Yeah, I do think Ida's got a real strong point of contention on this southwest side, but that's not counting out Anathosis, honestly. I think their little compound they're currently playing in down towards the east side could come in real handy later on. It's feeling quite central right now too.
So, I mean, it can be as central as you like, but if you're exposed to multiple teams, multiple players, it's not going to be an easy task for you. We head on over to Ida at the moment. They are the ones in control with that high ground, but it's also, like you mentioned, it is Anorthosis Famagusta. Decent position for them too. Can they make something happen with it? My lord, that high ground. That's crazy. I still don't understand how the cars are able to get up there, okay? I still don't get it.
They have the treads on them, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
specially made treads for getting up hillsides. Well,
some kind of traction on those wheels,
vertical
man.
columns. I don't know how it works, but it does. Good shots there from Wild. I mean, Regnum Curry is still rocking 3 players right now, getting up towards a high placing too. And realistically, this team only 2 elims right now. They sort of want the 3rd place, but they're right on the edge of the circle at the moment. Does not make life easy for them.
No, it does not. Regnum Carrier trying to see if they can make their way in here, but the high ground is just dominated by so many teams. And look at this for Falcons. But they got to move. That's the problem. They got to move shortly.
I mean, hey, Matt, they've done fantastic to get to that point.
You know what? Incredible game for Falcons. Yeah, no mistakes at all.
Yeah, let's say Redux and Narvala have had a real
100%
of a game, dude. Yeah, it's been amazing. But we don't really want to talk about the other 2 players on the team all that much. But yeah,
they started as a duo, right? It was just 2 players.
Just them. They're the only 2 guys that loaded in. Yeah, getting to a top 6 with 3 elims. They got to be proud. I think they made some really good movements as well. Again, it would have been nice. You know, that split off was good. You know, 2 angles of attack there to work with, depending if one side went wrong. Would have just been nice if one angle attack was slightly easier. But goodness me, Redux is on an absolute tear. Is that through a tiny hole as well?
I was going to say. Yeah, it looked like it. Falcons, I mean, somehow making it work. And the fact that now Papara Supermassive is eliminated, that just means that, hey, there's an opportunity for them to still stay within the top of the leaderboard despite the harrowing mistakes that were made in the early stage of the game. But hey, if you can somehow make it work, that's what matters. And now they're trying to get into the zone, but the focus is one more time. Regnum Carrier, Anorthosis Famagusta, what is going to be the play on your side? It looks like taking this fight. The nade comes in, not enough damage, but it's still decent. Redux, unfortunately, finally gets taken down, and it's all going to be up to Narvalo from Falcons to survive and get the points for him and his squad. Meanwhile, Noisy Boy is feeling the pressure from IDA, and Madcap just takes that one for himself. He's going to use that high ground. Focus on Narvalo now and focus on all the points that they can gather.
Yeah, Narvalo starts a little further to get into the circle, but he has to wait. Madcap needs to start making his way down off this high ground shortly because it's going to take him a lot longer to get down than it is for Narvalo to walk up the roadside. Good shots from Madcap. He is being super present inside of this match, constantly finding pickoffs here and there and feeding the information back to the rest of his teammates. I will say I was very impressed with what Wild was doing. You know, typically when they send out with the pickup truck sent down towards the side, you would have thought both players went through and was kind of baiting for Redux to stay in that position. Wild's not deterred. He just continues holding Mark on that spot.
That he is. And Anorthosis somehow still didn't lose a single member. That I'm surprised by, but hey, At the moment, the nades from Wild, they're doing a decent bit of damage. And okay, never mind. First knock, lovely. But do you actually push now as the squad? You have to now. You have to push now. Beautiful knocks coming in from Regnum Carrier. And it is going to be responded to, though. Z-Wolf goes down. The revive is finished. It is now a 1v3. They thought it could have been done. They thought it was all possible, but unfortunately, Anorthosis was ready for all kinds of pushes. They were ready for anything. And now it's going to be a log save. It could have been absolutely massive. Switches over to the DBS, close range against an entire squad now. What can he do? Can he do anything? Can he do something? Can he secure some points? He's going to switch over one more time to the nade, hoping to get something done, but the response comes early, and Anorthosis come out on top. They don't lose a single member, but looks like IDA will pick up every single one of them if they want to. Three teams left.
Wild there from Regnum Kai, really good nades. It's very well placed as well. Knew that one player try and peek him off the side of the building, so immediately picks up that locale next instead of trying to go for the flush. Just unfortunate that Ida still has this really good high ground to work with, looking down over towards Anorthosis as well as Regnum Kai, so they just can't make that push easily. I felt like Loxy could maybe have clutched up there, but it's a really nice grenade actually over the top, the air burst on him. Yeah, this is not an enjoyable finish to the game for any team up this mountainside. The Noisy Boys have been, in fact, quite quiet this match.
Oh no, looks like that the top of the hill is a little bit cursed as another one of the players drops to their death. Like you said, Noisy Boys, I mean, look, now they're starting to make some noise and their focus is IDA. It is going to be a 2v2. They try their luck through the smoke. Umre's down. One player left to go. It is all up to Darkin, and the spray through the smoke will get the job done. But Darkin goes down to the zone, and now it's a 2v3. Actually, no, 4v3 rather. And it is going to be Anorthosis Famagusta. They only have the 2 eliminations, but they do have a full squad. TNB, can they get any knocks before Anorthosis comes up to the top here? Can they use this advantage, even though just for a split second? Use the high ground before they climb. Try and be a little bit more proactive.
Bit of a wild grenade that's sent through there. Goes very long. They don't really have any information. These nades are just trying to provide space themselves, but look how wild they are being sent out. And Melas will find Aaron. It's just one player remaining now, Sandstorm, and it should be game over.
And it looks like it is, and Haisu decides, I might just be eliminated to the zone, but the players say, nah, not today. They claim the knock, they claim the elim, and they get themselves another point. And Anorthosis Famagusta, one of the strong contenders as well, coming in from the group stage. I would say they had a finish where it ended up being top 5, top 8 from the overall leaderboard in our first week. And now they get themselves that chicken dinner, and they're going to climb straight back to that top one more time. Sensational end for them. And it's a great start for Anorthosis, making up for the lackluster first game. But hey, a chicken dinner plus eliminations. I think they got 3 in the end, so 15 in total. I would say not the spiciest chicken dinner that you'd expect to see. But hey, at this stage, you want 16 out of 20. Any points that you can get. A chicken dinner plus 5, that goes a long way for you and your team.
Yeah, it's a super tough circle as well. I mean, with that high ground involved, like, it was cursed, like you say. People were just throwing themselves off it left, right, and center. Yeah, it's not easy. It's really not easy. I think for Anorthosis, though, they got very, very far into it. But for the Noisy Boys, it was difficult for them to hold on to that position. Anorthosis, I think I said it very early as well. They just had a really slick position down towards that south side, east side in the concretes. And there really wasn't a lot of angles to work with. Regnum Kai did incredibly well to get those nades through, and I think maybe Anorthosis opens themselves up to assault there, but they were able to manage it in those final moments. It looked messy, but they got themselves a fair few points out of that game.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as long as you don't have a big goose egg as a result at the end of your game, you should be happy as Larry. We've seen what happened when teams were losing out by a difference of 1 point. So the second that you get a knock, if you can get the elimination, do it. If you're in a 1v3, maybe don't give the point away. If you're in a 1v4, definitely don't give the point away. Die to the zone, maybe. Just make things a little bit more difficult for your opponents. to get to the scoreline that they need. But now that we're heading into our third game, which is surprise, it's our Rondo. Woo! Rondo, finally.
So
let's
happy.
go. That's what I would say. Yeah, obviously I'm very excited, and Blank, I want to say not so excited. Not as happy as I am, but it's fine. This is this evens out the broadcast a little bit. We can't all be happy.
Hey, I like Rondo again. I just I'm kind of curious to see the amount of eliminations that come through that don't really matter. And when teams start, I think the funny thing I heard from John was he said, "Okay, and now the eliminations will start to stick," and I'm like, that's a weird thing to say in PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Yeah. MVP from that one, Akron, 654 damage. Very, very good conversion rate on that one as well. 6 elims into 654 damage.
Must be very happy with it. Looks like he is the only one from his roster that is going to be up there. He also covered the longest distance, Dakimi. He provided us with some incredible moments in that last game. Scarface, most damage though in the game. That is darkened with the highest or most distance score. The highest distance that we've seen from what I can remember, I believe was 398 in the last week. But I do remember when me and John were talking last week, we saw, I think the record that we've seen is like 420, 430 meters. That's the longest that we've... 402. Yeah. That's what you remember? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 402 is the current record. I don't think there's anything higher than 402 right now.
Okay, so the numbers are right, but just in the wrong order, it seems.
Yeah. I think technically you're correct if we just switch the 2 and the 0 around. But yeah, it's incredible because I think past 400 meters, you don't see the render distance is gone. So you don't actually even see who you eliminate at that point. So a lot of times this happens when your last stray bullets hit a vehicle. And I think this is what happened on the 402. The last stray bullets hit a vehicle as they went out of render distance range and the vehicle blew up. And they got the elim credit for that. So it's such a rare scenario to get it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you're not going to have a situation where someone gets an elimination from like 400, 500 meters with a sniper. That rarely ever happens.
You can't see them. You literally can't see them past 400. Yeah, so it's actually impossible. So the only way it works is with a vehicle elim. Yeah, it's a little interesting tidbit for you guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, because me and John were talking about it, and we didn't know what the number was or what the situation was. But now that we have you here, thank you very much. We have a clearer picture, a clearer image, and a clear idea as to what happened there and what's going to happen now, which is teams are getting themselves into the lobby slowly but surely. And since it is our third game, I believe... I mean, this seems like a trend where a team that wins a chicken dinner, their group just doesn't play the next game. In our previous one, it was Bruh from Group D. They won game 1. They missed out on game 2. And this time we have Group C that's going to be dipping. So it's Wildcats, IWNRX, Anorthosis Famagusta, Team Falcons, and Besiktas. Those teams will not be participating in the next game. They'll be stepping out and they'll be missing out on Rondo for today. But don't worry, it is prepared in a way that every single team will be able to play a single Rondo. So it's evened out. They did the math that we could not last week.
Yeah, it's all behind the scenes. It was all sorted out. Fair enough. I mean, I didn't have too much input there, but I'm glad it did get fixed in the end because there was some concerned conversations with you guys being like, someone plays Rondo one game more, then they'll have more chances to get even more eliminations. It's a balance, but yeah, the balance has been retained for PUBG Mobile EU.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be. And just like our favorite moments in PUBG Mobile, let's have a look at the best moments from that last game. I wanted to see SnowX get a full wipeout against Asgard, but it wasn't going to happen. Not at that close range. But this, I want to say, this play here by Ulf pulling up. I was so close for Trumby to get a lot of damage done, actually. He almost took down both.
Yeah.
I think he would have been able to get the revive, too.
I think that, honestly, looking at Aaron there, I think he just show why he has been consistently a name that's brought up in PMSL EU as well. I mean, that initial nade's so good. He's starting to look more and more like he deserves to be on that international stage. I think there was some imperfections with Aaron earlier on this year and the previous year. as well. But those are starting to get ironed out left, right, and center. You can see Ida getting themselves up towards 13 points overall, Anathosis up to 15, but all far behind with 11 points. And then this is the first roster change we'll see from Aaron as well, because usually he was on Ida. That's where he made his name. But moving over towards Ulf with some bigger names around him that can help him learn the game a little bit more, or maybe on a more strategic scale. That's important. That's definitely important for a growing player.
Yeah, that it is. I want to say there's times where I see a roster stick together for 2, 3, 4 years, not manage to accomplish much, and they'll still think, okay, no, we're going to stick together, we're going to keep trying. And there are other teams, other players, organizations that just try it out, change things up every single year, just see what works. And I can kind of see the thought process behind both wanting the team to kind of grow together and maybe wanting to find like that perfect composition. Maybe that's what he's looking for heading over to Ulf. But to be honest, they also performed very well in our first stage. And right now, we may not see them, but they did skip out on the first game. That's why. But we finally have a look at the overall ranking, and we'll see exactly where every single one of our 20 teams is ending up. And so far, it's still Bruh with that first game, Chicken Dinner, and the 16 eliminations that they secured. But Anarthos's Famagusta, they come in with second. 11. I like that. 9-point difference, 2 games already. That must feel nice for Bruh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 9-point difference as well, but on top of a whole game difference as well. So they have 1 game on top of BRA. BRA's played 1 match, and anyone playing 2 still hasn't been able to overtake them, which is very, very important. Oscar Esports, Jekko, Boars, and Fenerbahce. 3 zeros and just 1 point for Oscar Esports, which that's rough. I think mostly for Boars Gaming and Fenerbahce, that looks bad. That looks very bad for your team.
Specifically for Boars, 2 games, 0 points. This team has had, I want to say, great progression in getting themselves into good positions time and time again. Whether it was PMCO Eastern Europe or whether it was the first week of competition, their position has always been phenomenal. So I'm surprised that it's been 2 games and they haven't been able to get a single point so far. Yes, 12 maps only. So they have reached their limit of making mistakes so far. So now you have to start getting things in order. You have to start fixing things. You're not going on a break just yet. Your play, I think, when it comes to Boars, let's have a look. They are in Group B. So the next game is when they're going to be stepping out. That means that it could be their chicken dinner, according to the logic of groups, wins, and the schedule of today. It's completely crazy, but it makes sense in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're 2 games in, 0 points, not necessarily over just yet, but you are right. It's bad. Very bad. But you need to start getting big games. I mean, I think once you're hitting like the 3rd or 4th match and you still got 0 points, then you might be in trouble. You might be in trouble then. So it needs to change. But I have definitely seen like some teams in the past, like some really good teams being on 0 points after the 4th match and then just turning things around. But you're right. That's a big ass sandstorm. That's a big ass to be like, okay, well, now you need to get 20 points every game. And some teams have done it, but rarely, very rarely.
Yeah, and not every team is capable of pulling something off. And of course, the competition gets tougher day by day. You have the best teams in Europe, the best teams in Turkey. They're not going to make things easy for you. They're going to be researching day in, day out, looking at your drops, at your rotations, your plays, seeing exactly how they can counter your every move. So you have to be very, very careful, especially now we're in the knockout stage. These teams have to put their best foot forward. 56 players are currently with us at the moment, so we're just waiting for a couple more moments, and then hopefully we'll be setting off into Rondo, and we'll see exactly how the early action is going to look like. And I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for your reaction as well, Blank, because it's your first Rondo.
It is, yeah. How far is your map feed behind? Because I'm getting into game right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah. It's slow. Yeah, it's loading in now.
Yeah, good. Yeah, the fact is just a glitch in the system right there. But I'm glad we saw it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good to know. So that means that the game should be starting very, very shortly. Let's go. We're just waiting on the last player from X team. There's no need to explain.
I thought you had like some additional knowledge or something like that. I was like, where's he getting this info from? This is crazy. I'm seeing something completely different. But yeah, we're getting into it. We have Rondo with plenty of res beacons around the map. And that is the big one. if it's your first time watching PMSL EU and you didn't watch group stages, we do now have Rondo in the mix, which I think the main big change that there is, other than it being a whole new map, obviously, but there is res beacons on here. So during the early stages of the game, whilst res beacons are still in the circle, you can res your teammates, and trying to see a bit of a meta forming where teams are kind of like hot dropping one another and then leaving one guy on a res beacon and then just slamming that thing once that whole team dies. So you're just trying to get as many eliminations as much as possible. But we're heading straight into it. There's a chance at a double plane path, but not on this map particularly.
Well, actually, no, on this map particularly. Just maybe, yeah,
Yeah, not on this game. That's what I mean. There is a chance at the double plane path, but not this time.
Do you think it's the same odds as like a double rainbow?
I think it's around 30%. 30%, I think.
Okay.
That's
looks
really
up chances of a double rainbow.
I'm sorry. I mean, I feel bad about that because you're like, oh, is it the same chance as double rainbow? I could have been like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. Instead of just giving you hard facts. That's cruel. I apologize.
You're fine. Or are you? I'm just saying then.
No, I think that was mean of me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll leave the hard facts.
It pushes glasses up. Well, actually, you know.
Well, yeah, it didn't really pull an actually moment. I'm sorry. That was not cool of me.
Oh, well, that's not very cool of Jetgo either. That's not how you start. Noisy boys, no. Noisy boys suffer. And they're just, oh, actually, wait, no, never mind. It's fine. There's recalls. Don't worry about it. But Noisy Boys are no. Noisy Boys hot dropped someone in Rinjiang, and I think the person that was eliminated by Jetgo was the person that was supposed to revive them. This is the worst case for them. Meanwhile, S2G finally getting to grips with the map and showing us what they can do. They got that first elimination. They should be able to get the second one. Kalse. Come on, just one more bullet. Do not let him take down your teammate. I know you can get the recall, but looks like the elimination will be secured. And Kalse will be forced to take this 1v1. If anyone pre-fires anyone, it's one bullet. And either player will be done for it. But Icy's here for backup for Kalse as well. Now it's going to be a 2v1. And meanwhile, for Kara, I'm trying to figure out exactly where. It looks like Marso is near center circle, so he's not near his teammate. And a 2v1 goes in favor of S2G. They get themselves the second kill, or elimination rather. And HamCG, once again, the first person to be eliminated in the game for S2G. This is like the third time in a row, by the way. Man's having zero luck.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, he's playing as the front man for the team right now, but yeah, Kara coming straight back into the picture. O's are dropping down. Lation from Xlay decides to play all the way on the north side of the map. Very, very far out of the way over there.
Oh yeah, that's basically their plan. It's send 3 players to hot drop, get as many elims as you can, while one player takes the furthest away beacon, recall beacon, and just plays revive.
Yeah, I mean, does it hurt your chances rotational wise? 4 once again struggling. But we do have reses available. So let's just think about the elims that can be brought up here with Ulf already finding 2 on Scarface. Could they just not have called themselves Wolf? Like, is it a silent W, guys? Is that what we're going for?
Maybe? Maybe in Turkish it's pronounced Wolf.
Ulf, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But you know what? I don't know who wins in a fight between a wolf and a boar. In this situation, looks like the wolves. Because they hunt in a pack.
Yeah, that's right. One boar pretty dangerous. I think most wolves would avoid one boar if they were solo. But in a pack, yeah, you're right. That's how they take them down. Nip from the sides.
Yep.
Evil creatures.
Wolves? Yeah, but they're adorable, no?
Yeah, I actually would agree with you. I think they are adorable. I think if you like dogs in general, I think you'd find wolves adorable. I don't think I'd want to be around a wolf.
Listen, no. I wouldn't want to be around the wolf or a dog. I don't know. I have a bad history.
But you just agree that they're adorable.
Yes, yeah. Listen, I can agree that it's adorable, but I don't have to, like, I can agree it's adorable from a distance.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be near it, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that. That's a good conclusion. We got the EMP zone around Neox factory, but everyone's left. Everyone's gone.
Yeah,
everyone's looking towards the center of the circle right now. Lation hasn't moved an inch. Still playing.
He's still waiting. He's still waiting for it. I mean, I kind of feel sad for the rest of the X-Lay squads because they're like, okay, so we go fight. Okay, but we didn't get eliminated. Okay, so we just continue to go fight. Meanwhile, Lation's like, guys, I want to play too.
Isn't that a terrible game plan in your opinion? Like, I find it's a horrible game plan because X-Lay's like goal right now is to die. Otherwise, they're playing split. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if no one fights them? You're ruined a Rondo match.
And I agree with you 100%. If you make a plan to go for an early play, early aggression, then you have to stick to it. You have to go as aggressive as possible. Because right now, Lation is just hung out to dry. No one's around them. No one's close to helping him out. But also, he's far from danger. So at this point, the rest of X-Lay just has to force a fight regardless. And they have time up until like stage 3, stage 4 to continue the recall. So it's not really much of an issue. But then you're getting recalled so far outside the zone.
Yeah,
so
it's a lose-lose scenario. In my opinion, it's a lose-lose scenario, right? You either win the fight, in which case Lation's now off in Narnia on the north side of the map. Hard to regroup with him. Or you lose the fight and you've got no elimination. So what was the point in the first place? Because now you're on the other side of the map, struggling to rotate in. I just find this is a weird idea to me. I can understand like playing off the back of like trying to hot drop Neox factory and then rezzing towards, West Jadena City. But yeah, playing over towards the north side. There's a big fat question mark on it.
Yeah, I can see the question mark.
Yeah,
it's. I agree. It's like at this point, do you just torch yourselves and then get recalled all the way up north so you can regroup at least, or not? Well, it looks like Okay, Kalse, I wasn't talking to you to torch yourself. Kalse, what are you? Why?
Yeah, confusing.
Wait. Hold on.
Hold.
I mean, I'm looking towards. Why did he do that? I mean, maybe I get it. You don't want to give the point away, I guess. And they're able to recall him rather, so it shouldn't be a problem. But the thing is, like, they're in the middle of. They're very split for S2G. There's 2 in 2 Ling, and then there's 2 a little bit more central. Well, 1 now in Icy. I'm not sure what S2G is doing here. I am confused and bamboozled.
There's a lot of question marks appearing on the screen right now.
Yeah, we had a massive one, and now there's a few smaller ones.
Yeah, we're confused, and that's okay. It's Rondo. Typically, Rondo is quite a confusing map to watch, especially from a viewer side. I mean, we've seen a lot of eliminations, yet still 62 remaining.
Going through the last rondo on the group stage, it was 20 extra eliminations that were secured in that game. So it was a total of 84 eliminations at the end of the game. But I also remember seeing a couple of people be eliminated to the blue zone, specifically in the end game as well. Guys, same team. What are you doing? So yeah, I think that was the most I've seen. The most amount of eliminations in a game of Rondo, and then obviously, having the team's recall. At the moment, we're looking at what? 8, 12, 14, maybe 15 eliminations, 15 eliminations, something like that. But we have 62 players, so only 2 of the eliminations stuck.
Yeah, 14 right now.
Oh.
But yeah, now more. Now we're looking probably at 16. But overall, it's definitely a weird one where it's hard to keep track of exactly what's going on and what elim counts and what elim doesn't. But in the meantime, most teams moving down towards the south side of the map, down towards Long Garden. quite a open area, I would say, on the map, honestly. You're coming off from like the south hillsides. Drop playable here on the long road that sits between it. Both currently at the EMP zone. Vehicles struggling slightly.
And S2G, I think they revived Calce, and then IC was no. So they're trading players. No, HamCG, listen. We still have. This is your third game of the day, and we still haven't seen you play. Please.
Yeah, I mean, Hamsy's trying to go for third game of the day and fifth death of the day. It would be impressive. Certainly would be impressive.
Yeah, 5 deaths. Okay, guys, that's my 5 maps, right? No.
Yeah, no.
No.
You gotta keep playing, Hamzy. Come on, man.
He has to keep going. He has to keep powering through. Meanwhile,
The ball's in front of us. I think that definitely this team is one that we want to see get at least 1 point on this map. I mean, at least 1 point. I mean, we were talking about saying that it couldn't go goose eggs all day, but we only have 5 matches a day right now. 4 per team. So, again, I think for Boars, it is absolutely a case of they have 2 more chances today. It's a day of just zeros. Like, what are we doing? And this is not a bad team. Snowix, Kivik, Havlik, EXO, all prevalent players in their own right from EU. They have been mashed together, but Havlik's been about like 15 different teams and still managed to work well.
Meanwhile, we finally see Xlay in some kind of action, some kind of fight. They got themselves a couple of elims, and I think one of them was eliminated. But